Assalamu alaikum, dear students. This is me, Atiq Ahmad. Today we are going to study the causes of urinary stones. In the previous lecture, we have started the broad topic, the urinary stones. We have divided this broad topic into two parts. In the first part, we have studied what is urinary stone. Then we have studied the symptoms, the indications of urinary stones. We have also studied the chemical nature of stones, and today we are going to study the causes of urinary stones. So there are three major causes of urinary stones: hypercalcemia, hyperoxaluria, and hyperuricemia. Now we'll start from the first one, hypercalcemia. It is basically the increased calcium level in the blood, which is termed as hypercalcemia. Increased calcium level in the blood ultimately cause high calcium level in the urine, and this high calcium level in the urine basically cause various stones in the urinary tract. Now, what are the causes of high calcium level in the blood as well as in the urine? So there are glands in our body which are known as parathyroid glands. They are four in number, and their function is to regulate the calcium level in the body, in the blood, and basically calcium is required for bones and teeth, particularly for bones. It is also a cofactor of several enzymes. So calcium is required for the body, but its content must be regulated by the parathyroid glands. So whenever the parathyroid gland is overactive, so in that case more calcium is found in the blood and then in the body fluids and as well as in the urine. A high calcium level in the blood, whenever this blood passes through the kidneys, so the possibility, the chances of kidney stone will increase, because these calcium will combine with the phosphates or with oxalates if they are also found in large number. As a result, the calcium oxalate and calcium phosphate stones formation will occur. Now, hyperoxaluria is another major cause of kidney stones. It is due to the high oxalate level in the urine. And when the high oxalate level is found in the urine, whenever there is high oxalate intake in the food, so oxalate is found mainly in leafy vegetables. So whenever we take over amount of oxalate, so that oxalate concentration become higher in the blood as well as in the urine. And this condition in which the urine have high concentration of oxalate, that is called hyperoxaluria. Now this oxalate will combine with calcium and will form the calcium oxalate stones, which will trap in the urinary tract anywhere, maybe in the kidney or maybe in the bladder. So this is another cause, the high concentration of oxalate in the urine. It is another cause of kidney stones. Now these two types of stones, the calcium oxalate type of stones and calcium phosphate types of stones, these constitute around 70% of the kidney stones. The third major cause of the kidney stones, that is hyperuricemia. It is the increased amount of uric acid in the blood. and it causes uric acid type of kidney stones, which are found 10% of the total kidney stones found in the kidney stone patients. High uric acid level, whenever the metabolism of uric acid is not normal inside the body, so as a result more uric acid will be found in the blood as well as in the urine, which will ultimately cause the uric acid stones. Similarly, high concentration of cysteine and phosphate in urine also cause kidney stones. We have already discussed this point. Cysteine is basically an amino acid. Whenever 2 units combines, so 2 units of cysteine after combination form cysteine dimers. Those dimers basically cause the cysteine stone. Similarly, phosphate, whenever there is high amount of phosphate in the blood as well as in the urine, so it will combine with the calcium. So as a result, calcium phosphate stones are formed. Another reason, that is dehydration, which increases the chances of kidney stone, because whenever there is dehydration, so water availability is lesser. As a result, concentrated blood will pass through the kidneys, and whenever this concentrated blood passes through the kidneys and the other factors which we have already described, if those factors also prevail, so then there are more chances that kidney stones will be formed. Now, what are the treatments of these urinary stones? Normally, the small stones, which are more than 5 mm or up to 10 mm, there are 47% chances that they will pass spontaneously. Whenever we drink a lot of water, so there are chances that spontaneously they will move out of the urinary tract. So the major problem, that is of larger stones which are larger than 1 centimeter and they cannot pass spontaneously. So there are 2 methods which are used, and there is additional third procedure which is nowadays rarely used. The 2 normal procedures which are frequently used are ESWL, extracorporeal shock wave lithotripsy, and PCNL, the percutaneous nephrolithotripsy. We will study these 2 in detail. ESWL. In ESWL, extracorporeal shock wave lithotripsy, an instrument which is called lithotripter, it is placed on the body. It is used to generate shock waves from outside the patient body, which is focused on the stone. So what are these shock waves which are used in this ESWL? These are basically high pressure waves, and these high pressure waves are used from the outside of the body, and through these waves the kidney stone is targeted. But before applying these waves, ultrasounds or X-ray will be used to locate the stone inside the kidney or inside the bladder, and then after that the instrument lithotripter will be used to produce the shock waves, the high pressure waves, which will ultimately break down the stone into small pieces, and those pieces will spontaneously pass through the urethra. Whenever we drink a lot of water, so continuously they will be removed. The second procedure, that is the PCNL. In case of larger stones, PCNL is usually performed percutaneous nephrolithotripsy. In this case, a tube is inserted from the patient's back into the kidney to create a tract. First, a tract will be created, for which a tube is used, which is inserted into the patient back to reach into the kidney. Then through a scope, the kidney or the bladder, wherever there is a suspected stone, it is visualized. that where the actual stone is located. After visualization, ultrasound equipment can then be inserted to break up the stone. Ultrasound equipment utilizes the high energy sound waves more than 20,000 hertz. So through that high energy ultrasound waves, the large stones are broken down, and then the stone fragments are grasped with special equipment, and they are physically pulled through the tract out from the kidney. So this is a procedure in which a physical procedure is involved, in which physically a tube is inserted, then the kidney stone or the bladder stone is visualized, it is properly located, and then the high energy sound waves, the ultrasound waves, are utilized to break up the stone, and then physically those stones are grasped up and removed from the urinary tract. Open surgery, this is very rarely performed nowadays, but this is only performed in those cases when there are very much large bladder stones, or there are complicated staghorn stones, branch stones, which cannot be removed through the other two procedures, ESWL and PCNL. So in that case, open surgery is performed, in which the body is opened and the kidney is visualized and the stone is then located and physically it is removed from the body. This is all about today's lecture. See you next time with new lecture. Take care. Allah Hafiz.